show of hands if you know exactly what's in your wardrobe. You know every piece. Brilliant, yeah, so about half the room. Fantastic, thank you. If you can be honest and say that you regularly wear every item of clothes in your wardrobe, raise your hand. On average, it says that we wear 20% of our wardrobe 80% of the time. And that's basically what I want to try and help you with. Just try and help you, give you some tips on how you can make the most of your wardrobe. People judge you based on what you wear, unfortunately, and we all do it. And it's something that we struggle not to do. So it's basically about managing your first impression, which I'm going to give you a few tips on today. What do we, first thing that pops into your head?
Smooth.
Salesman.
Yeah, so what job do we think he might do? Salesman we've had?
Bouncer in a nightclub.
Bouncer, I like it.
Selling cars.
Bouncers.
In a nightclub.
Selling cars. Do we like him?
No.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bit mixed, yeah. How much do we think he earns? And what about this young lady?
Professional.
What do we think she might do?
She looks very sullen.
Yeah.
I've got to say.
Her
Serious job.
legal.
Very serious.
Yeah.
She's not
So,
happy.
did we like her better than we liked him?
No.
Do we want to do business with her?
No. It depends. Depends on the business. Yeah.
So we know nothing about either of these people,
No.
but we're judging them based on what we see. Of course, you know, I've chosen two particular photos that I know that they're going to react. You're going to react in some way, but it's just showing you that this is how we react. Okay. So as I said, we're all told that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, probably by parents or other influential people. But unfortunately, we all do. It's a natural instinct. It's a prehistoric reaction based on our need to identify threats to our safety. And so it is something that we have got little control over. And so it's about being aware that you, in the same way, will be judged. So humans are visually dominant. We believe first what we see over what we hear, which is why what you wear is important. So as I say, it shouldn't be, but unfortunately it is, because people do judge you because it's the first thing that they see. Because basically, if you take the time and effort to present yourself, give yourself that best first impression when you come to a networking event or when you're presenting or going to meet a client, they're already thinking, you've walked in the room thinking, oh, great, this person looks nice, looks friendly, wearing a smile, you're standing tall, and they're thinking, wow, this person looks impressive, I like them, I want to do business with them. Let's face it, none of us particularly like being wrong. So if you're already creating that halo by giving that brilliant first impression, people are going to want to listen to you. They're going to want to engage with you. If you don't, what happens, and you turn up to an event where you perhaps haven't given it much effort, you thought, oh, that was good. Basically what happens is people are thinking, oh, do I really want to do business with them? You may get a chance to have a conversation with them. You'll get the opportunity to perhaps change their mind, but you're having to overcome barriers. You're having to kind of make things difficult for yourself when you could have already given them that initial gut reaction that said, I really need to speak to that person because they look good, they're certainly presenting themselves and their business in the right way. So if you give people a negative experience, it will affect their continued engagement with you. So how are we going to make sure that we don't make those mistakes? How are we going to make sure that we do make that great first impression? It all starts with building your personal brand. So how do we build the personal brand? Well, it's very much about thinking, what is it that you want to be known for? How do you want to be seen? How are we going to get that wardrobe to really reflect what you've got to say? Second element of building your personal brand is then about making it visible. Highly visible. So it's about being known, it's about high vis, yeah? Being high vis. Now for some of you who don't know me, I used to wear one of these a lot of the time. I had to wear one of these to be visible. Had to wear one of these to get noticed. Thankfully, because the colour really just not me. I don't need one of those anymore to be visible, but for some time I did. So interestingly then that I choose a career where only 2% of people are women. So again, it's kind of that whole crikey. The only thing I can do to be successful here is be one of the boys, not to stand out, because I don't want to stand out in that environment. I want to hide, I want to blend in, which is what I did. As a result, overlooked for promotion, not taken seriously, missing out on opportunities because I left me at home, I left my personality at home. It wasn't until I realised the importance of a really strong personal brand that I got noticed and opportunities came knocking at my door, which is why I'm passionate about sharing with you the importance that personal image can have to your career, to your business. Think about how you want to be known and how you can be high vis. Yeah? How are you going to be high vis? Because we all know business is tough, business is competitive, but people buy people. So how can you be high vis? How can you stand out? It's about being memorable for the right reasons. Here we go. Not for the wrong reasons. So how do you want to be known? How are you going to get noticed for the right reasons? Personal branding. I've shared with you 2 of the steps involved. So it's about defining yourself, knowing how you want to be known, and then how are you going to make yourself visible? How will you stand out? How will you be different? And it is about you. It's about you can be as unique as you are, because there's no right and wrong around this. And effective personal branding is when you are seen and you're known how you want to be known. But until you define and you think about how it is you want to be seen, you can't start to dress your brand, you can't start to sound your brand, and you can't behave your brand until you know. To summarise really, I know it's a real cliche, but you do only get one chance to make that first impression. You want to make sure it's the best one for you and your business. So thank you. This is if you want to connect with me, you can. And my final point to share, very interesting, that was Andrea's tip as well. So it's be yourself, be unique, but most of all, be the best version of you.